Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me, Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide, and empowerment coach, and I'm here with this week's messages from your angels by astrological sign. If you'd like to learn more about me, my services, or to book a private session, please feel free to go to my website at www.terihunter.com. That's TERIHUNTER.com. Or you can email me or call or text. The information is below in the verbiage below. So today is Thursday, August 23rd, 2018, and we are finally at the end of the Mars retrograde. Mercury is going, or went direct last week. Saturn is going to be going direct early September. So we're really going to see an easing off of the energies that we've been experiencing this summer. There's been a real kind of a disruptive energy going on, asking us all to look a little deeper into our lives and where we have unreconciled issues, dynamics, characteristics within our own personalities and within our relationships, both business and personal. So this is really all of this that's been going on, all of this sort of, I want to say it's disruptive, but it's really kind of nice because it's been an opportunity for many of us to look at where we get in our own way, where we have old thought patterns and processes that actually stop us from moving forward, kind of stick us into an old place. We also have a full moon coming up the 26th. I believe that's Saturday. This full moon is in Pisces. It has a grand trine in earth signs, and it's going to offer a real sort of an easing in. So we've gone from this disruptive, kind of looking deeper, feeling frustrated and a little bit thwarted in our efforts, to seeing this start to move forward in a more harmonious way, in a way that affords us ease. That's the way I want to put it. It's almost like the calm after the storm. So I would offer each and every one of you an opportunity to set an intention on this full moon of what you'd like to experience moving forward. We're going to see these aspects in play for the next 2, potentially 3 weeks. So there may be also epiphanies that come to you. You may feel like you're getting messages from the other side. You're feeling like your guides and your angels are closer than normal. Archangel Gabriel is ushering in this full moon, and she's sort of she is the messenger of God. She ushered in Jesus's birth. She told Mary that she was going to be pregnant. She told the wise men where to head this way. Jesus is being born. So each one of us may find her calling towards us and nudging us towards a higher vibration of our lives, stepping deeper into our dreams and desires, and allowing her to, and your guides and your angels, to sort of allow for inspired action moving forward. So if you feel like you're closer to the other side, the veil is thinning, you're seeing coincidences and number sequences, you're not crazy. Just take note, and you might even want to journal some of the things down, just so that you can look at it later and see how you were actually being guided. All right, so let's go into Aries. Let's start with that and see what Spirit has to say for you this week. All right. Our first angel is Astera. The second is Athena. The third is Archangel Uriel, and the final angel is Ray. So Astera talks about reaching for your dreams without compromise. And when I say without compromise, this is not about stepping on other people. This is not about being obstinate. It's about being willing to push past the obstacles within your own mind, the things that you the roadblocks that you put up when you start to think about what it is you want to create. Because Athena is in your opportunity or obstacle, saying that it is safe for you to lovingly assert yourself. And then I have Archangel Uriel in the Angel's Advice, and I think this plays back to the summertime, because Archangel Uriel talks about frustration, anger, and maybe you have been trying to assert yourself, and up until now you haven't been able to really be as effectual as you'd like to be. You know, sometimes when we're birthing an idea, an experience, a dynamic, oftentimes we don't see the gestation period. You know, we are not always aware of every movement forward. And I think that this summer provided that sort of thing for Aries, where you feel movement on some level and then nothing on the other level. And that frustration is, for me, speaking of a bigger picture of things, rather than being frustrated because I can't see what's going on, stepping into a space of trust that I have been being, meaning my attitude, my disposition, my thoughts, I've been aligned with what I want. And now there's a certain process that has to, other people, other dynamics, timing has to come into play, because the final position is Ray. And Ray is saying she's the card of yoga and exercise, but she's sitting in a meditative position, and she's always flanked by this, her willingness to speak lovingly to herself as she connects her power center to spirit through her third eye. So for you, Aries, I think many of you are going to be coming to the completion of your projects. You're going to see more, I kind of want to say that there'll be a certain amount of accolades or reward or pats on the back for achievements. So as you stand in that vibration, sort of an excited expectation that your dreams, your desires, everything is starting to work in your favor. I think you'll enjoy that. All right, let's go on to Taurus. What do the angels have to say for you this week, my Taurians? All right, our first angel is Layla. The second is Maya. The third is Archangel Raphael, and the final is Francesca. So Layla is my walking meditation. She always kind of, for me, says to spend time alone in nature and allow spirit to inspire me through nature. The next card, angel, is Maya. Maya is a card of schooling and education, and I rarely see it as brick and mortar. I most often see it as a spiritual education, an energetic education, learning more about how my being energy sets the tone for my thoughts, which then set the tone for my actions. I have Archangel Raphael in the Angel's Advice, which is the angel of healing. And the more I do this work, the less I feel like we need a healing. I feel more like we are not broken. It's just contrasting experiences that afford us an opportunity to see where we're aligned. What are we really aligned to? Because in the final position, I have Francesca saying to visualize what I want, that negativity is blocking my progress. So Taurus, this is what I'm trying to say. First of all, I don't want you to be positive or negative, because I'm going to tell you this. I think that positivity is the resistance of negativity, which is almost like sealing that negativity to me. So I want to offer you the idea of spending time. Take a walk around the block. Get outside, even if you just sit in your patio and allow your eyes to gaze out on the horizon, and then sort of ask Archangel Raphael, what does he want you to know about your energy? Because that's what I think he and Maya are offering you. Where are you standing? What is your dominant thought? And as you do that, rather than resisting your fears or resisting your trepidations about things, ask yourself if it's happening in this moment. Are the things that potentially scare me actually, are they here, or am I projecting somehow in the future the worst case scenario? And then turn that story around and imagine that you are, and I hate to use the word winning, but I'm going to, because that's where I think Archangel Raphael and Maya are really golden. Because as I step into the idea that Things are going to become more harmonious. I'm back on track. I'm sort of cleaning up where I had pretended there were things I didn't know about what was going on in my life. I feel like that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where you start to make progress it's like in your interior body, in your emotional, spiritual, intimate bodies. Okay, let's go on to Gemini. All right, my Geminis. First angel is Akasha. The second is Maya. The third is Rochelle. And the final is Isaiah. Now, it's interesting because Akasha is a spiritual teacher saying you have the ability to counsel others, and Maya is a card of schooling and education. For me, I don't think this is necessarily what they're talking about is you being teachers. Some of you may be, some of you may be counselors. But I think that this is more about the foundational Akasha saying that you have the ability to counsel yourself. You have the ability to actually step into both sides of a story. And at this moment, I don't think that you have to go to extremes. I think that this summer has offered Gemini an opportunity to learn how to assess versus spin back and forth, because Maya in the schooling and education is connected to Rochelle. And Rochelle says, as I honor and follow the guidance of my heart, prosperity is coming to me. But that prosperity is never about money for me. It's about harmonious wealth. It's about where I'm feeling balanced and thriving in my spiritual body, my mental body, my emotional body, my physical body, my financial body, my family body. And then I have Isaiah saying it's time to give birth to new ideas and new situations. So I think what is overall going on for Gemini is this idea that you have been able to, or you have the opportunity to assess the dynamics that have happened this summer, the challenges, the triumphs that you made, and then to step onto that platform that you are achieving. You are closer than you think you are. And if there was disruptions, it was only to help clear the path for you. So I really want you to use this full moon, as I referred to in the beginning of the video, to set an intention for what you'd like to experience this fall, for the things that you want to move forward in your life. And then in many ways, I kind of feel like I just want to have razor focus rather than trying to go back and forth and deliberate anymore, sort of settle and land in the lane I want to be in, and then trust the journey. And you don't have to be going 90 miles an hour. You know, you might be sitting in the lane and meandering along, but that's okay. You're still in the lane. All right, let's go on to Cancer. I'm already having that feeling where I don't know what I'm saying. So I hope this is all making sense for everybody. All right, my Cancers, what's up for you? Our first angel is Athena. The second is Rochelle. The third is Layla. And the final is Seraphina. Okay, my Cancers, the first thing I got was sort of a sense of relief for you. I felt like, oh my goodness, you guys have been going through so much emotional upheaval. And I want to offer that Athena is saying now is the time to lovingly assert yourself towards the things that you want and that you desire. Rochelle is in the opportunity, the obstacle. She is my favorite angel, and I hate to play favorites, but because she tells me when I honor and follow the guidance of my heart, not anybody else's heart, not what anybody else can see, but what I want for myself. And even if I don't know how I'm going to do it or how the road is going to play out, following my heart, just a little teeny step at a time, remembering that my actions represent who and what I want to be in this world. So I have Layla in the Angel's Advice. That's, again, my walking mobile meditation. So in order to anchor yourself into your version of yourself, your vision for yourself, go allow yourself to take a walk outside. Allow yourself to be somehow in nature. This summer I've spent a lot of time just sitting with my feet in the water down at the beach, and it's had a tremendously beneficial effect for me, my body. It feels like it's almost like been pulling out some old sludge or old dynamics, old energies that I otherwise could not have done by myself. I needed Mother Nature to help me do that. So for my Cancers, because you are a water sign, if you can get in water, that would be great. If you can't, standing on grass, anywhere you can put your feet in the earth. Again, we've got this full moon and this trine that's happening in earth signs. So as you anchor yourself into earth, I think that what we see here is Seraphina offering a happy change to your family. Some of you may find yourselves actually pregnant. But others, for the most part, I think will be giving birth to their versions of themselves, what they want for their lives, and taking those small steps. And the first step is to allow yourself to believe that if you want it, if you can imagine it, if you have the heart's desire for it, then you do somewhere have the ability to create it. The road may not be blown wide open. There may be obstacles, but those obstacles are grand designed to empower you to believe in yourself more and more, because every time you overcome one of those obstacles, you become stronger. And this is a strength that nobody can take away from you. All right, let's go on to Leo. All right, Leo, what does Spirit have for you today? Isabella saying, yes, the timing is right. Indriel saying you are a light worker. Ray talking, oh, look at that. All right, and then I have Chantal. Okay, that was a little choppy, sorry. So for my Leos, it's kind of the end of your birthday month. I think today is actually, we move into Virgo. But I want to say this, there's two things going on. I think number one, there's the opportunity that many of my Leos may be entertaining some new romance. But if indeed you are in a relationship, there may be a resurgence of the relationship, or you may just be falling more in love with yourself because of your choices and the things that you have birthed over this last summer, at least internally. Isabella in this foundational position is saying, yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive expectation. In the opportunity, the obstacle, I have Indriel. She's the card of the light worker, but this is really about shining your light onto the things that you want. I've got Ray in the Angel's Advice, which for me is always about connecting with Spirit and lovingly speaking to Spirit with my heart, and not putting any sort of conditions on it, not trying to figure out from my human perspective what I can and cannot manifest, allowing Spirit to show me that. Because in the final position I have Chantal, and Chantal is the romance angel. And we are talking about a big collective right now. So those of you that are not in a relationship have an opportunity to not only potentially meet somebody else, but to also to focus in on the things that are so great about you, and not in a conceited way, not in a way that is boastful, but in a way that you have evolved into a better version of yourself. And I don't want to say better in a judgy way. It's just in a way that feels better for you. You're liking yourself more. And as a result of that, you're sending out this vibration that is very attractive to others. So if indeed you are starting a new romance, be yourself. Just, don't shave off any of your awesome edges. Just fly free. And know that Spirit brought somebody who will love you and like you and appreciate you just the way you are. Okay, let's go on to Virgo. It is your birthday month, Virgo. And so nice, this energy that is being ushered in is so much more harmonious for you. So it's really looking forward to that. And I think I mentioned that Saturn is going to be going direct first couple weeks of September. I think it's September 9th, actually. All right, so Virgo, our first angel is Crystal, saying have faith and hope. There's more on the horizon that you can't see. The second angel is Rosetta. The third is Astera. And the final angel is Bridget. Okay, so this is the thing. There is, this month, what I want to say is that, okay. Crystal's saying have faith and hope. There's more on the horizon that you can't see. Rosetta is the angel of children, working with children, having a divine life's purpose with children. Astera is saying reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires, don't compromise. And then Bridget is saying to look deeper into a situation. I want to offer you this idea, my Virgos, because I feel like there is the potential that you have been endeavoring a certain project, a certain, I don't know if you're trying to like sell a house, get a new job, establish a relationship, but right now I feel like what Spirit is saying is that there is a process going on. And while we have these planets that are starting to move forward, I feel like if you've been wanting to jump up and take action, give it a little bit more time, look a little bit deeper into the situation. Know that if you don't jump up and say yes right away, don't get the bum's rush. Don't let anybody move you. I think it's about allowing yourself to kind of, in some respects, whatever the dynamic is going on right now, I feel like Bridget is saying, give yourself a minute to look a little bit deeper. And in doing so, there'll be some information, something will come up that will be align you closer to what it is you want to experience. So there's some sort of disruption, I guess, that's coming, but I don't want to say that it's a negative disruption. It's more like a piece of information. So let's just do something crazy. Let's say that the example is you're going to rent an apartment and you go and you see it in the morning and you don't see it in the evening and the sun changes and the apartment is shadier than you like. That's where I think is the looking deeper. It's sort of like your first impression may be great, but allow yourself to have a second impression or to do more research, just whatever it is you're trying to bring forth this week. Look for another piece of information. That's the only way I can put it. All right, let's go on to Libra. Oof, that sounded a little weird. Okay, what's up for Libra this week? All right, Oceana is saying to take action, to lovingly assert yourself. Francesca is saying to visualize what you want. Grace and Antoinette is saying to have compassion for yourself. And Desiree is saying that conditions are not quite favorable. This is interesting. Okay, so Oceana and Desiree are actually giving me counterintuitive things. One is saying move forward, the other is saying wait. It's interesting because Francesca is saying she wants me to visualize what I want. Negativity will block my progress. And Grace and Antoinette is saying to have compassion for myself. So this is where I'm going with all this craziness. I know I'm kind of choppy and all over the place. But for my Libras, what I think is actually what Spirit is saying for you this week is not about taking action in the physical world, like moving my body, as much as it's maybe an opportunity for you to assess your journey. You know, through each phase of our life, we grow and we evolve. And even, you know, our issues, you know, everybody has their issues, everybody has their story. I think what Spirit is asking you is to actually look a little bit deeper into how you have evolved and to give yourself a little bit more credit for that journey. So let me kind of be clear. The person you were as a teenager is not the person you are now. The person you were when you were in your early 20s is not the person you are now. The person you were, let's say, you were in your 40s, you aren't now. And even though each one of those phases had its highs, it also had its lows. So this is about braiding all the eras of your life. And if you're currently in your 20s, then know that you are going to be evolving into more and more of the vision you want for yourself. So I really think that this is about an interior job. I think this is about an emotional journey that says that even if I have been experiencing some of the dynamics I've experienced before, and an inner teenager is being triggered, or some old habits that you may have that don't quite serve you anymore are being triggered. It isn't about the trigger. It's about how you're processing it now. Let's just say in the past you would have acted out. You would have had a reaction versus, choosing how you wanted to show up. Give yourself credit for that, Libra. Allow yourself to give yourself accolades for the evolvement you've had. It's not about the disruption or the upset or, what's unpleasant. It's about how you're showing up through it. And I think that that's something to be applauded and to be recognized, rather than to beat yourself up, I guess. So have self-compassion this week as you take the initiative to look at yourself and say, you know what, certain things are always going to be there inside of me. Certain feelings, whether I feel slightly abandoned or every once in a while I have issues with my self-esteem, it doesn't mean they're at the same level as they were. They, allow for that reconciliation within your heart and that evolvement. All right, let's go on to Scorpio. What does Spirit have to say for my Scorpios this week? Our first angel is Yvonne, the second is Isaiah, the third is Merlina, and the final is Adriana. All right, Scorpio, Yvonne is always a card of vulnerability to me. It's caring for the deepest parts of my heart, with really cherishing those things, taking a deeper, being more reverent with the things that I want, and being honest with myself, not trying to define my life by what other people might think I should or shouldn't do. So if you really want that relationship, or you want to start a family, or you really want to be on The Voice, I don't care what it is, be vulnerable to it, really dig deep, because Isaiah is saying it's time to give birth to new ideas and new situations. And Merlina is in the angel's advice saying you may be confused and indecisive, but I think that has to do with the peanut gallery. I think that has to do with what other people may think or perceive, or how they may process whatever it is you want to be vulnerable to. So I say I want to sort of, put their voices over here, because Adriana is saying that if you are brave enough to be vulnerable to the deeper truth of what you want to experience, she's leading you. And we have Archangel Gabriel sending messages this week. She's in a very powerful position, and I think what she's wanting to do here, I'm getting a strong feeling that she's wanting to remind you, Scorpio, that you deserve to have those deeper truths of what you want, and to hold the line for it and faithfully, and then to watch as Spirit leads you, because they are leading you. And so if there's been a disruption, if there's been something that was removed from you that didn't serve your highest purpose, it didn't serve your real happiness, it didn't serve the truth of what you want, so be vulnerable to that truth. And know that sometimes we don't get what we want because it doesn't serve what we really want, if that makes sense. All right, let's go on to Sagittarius. I want to cut it off. Whoop. What does Spirit have to say for our Sagittarius this week? Our first angel is Chantal, the second is Estera, the third is Adriana, and the final is Azure. All right, this is it. I gotta say, Sagittarius, because this is such a potentially large dynamic, I want to say there's two things going on. I believe that many of you who are in a current relationship will see a resurgence of romance and love in that relationship. I also believe those of you that want a relationship, the potentials are coming. Chantal is the romance angel. She's saying that new love is coming in. Astera is saying to reach for the stars and not to compromise. Adriana is hearing the angel's advice, saying she's leading you towards the answers to your prayers through your dreams, your intuitions, and your thoughts. And then Azure is saying your desired outcome is happening in the near future. Don't force it. I want to say this for Sagittarius. I want to round this up by saying if a new relationship or the opportunity for new love comes in, be yourself. Don't suddenly try to anticipate what the other person wants and needs. Just be you. Because I believe that that's where Azure's saying, don't try to force it to happen. And if you're in a current relationship and this summer has been choppy for you or you found it tense, again, the vulnerable parts of you, the deeper parts of you, the parts of you that you know, oftentimes when we feel vulnerable and scared and we care about somebody, we'll get a little gruff. We'll want to hide that vulnerability. We'll want to pretend it doesn't exist. And in doing so, I think we're actually doing ourselves a disservice. So I want to offer my Sagittarius is be vulnerable with yourself, be vulnerable with your partners in love, and really think about how you're communicating so that, you know, you're not making up circumstances to cover up a deeper truth, and knowing that your partner will be responsive to the deeper truth. So let's just say you got cranky about something and, you know, you felt a little snarky about it and a little pouty. Rather than trying to defend your snarky and pouty attitude, why not just say I was feeling snarky and pouty because I wanted this and I didn't get it? And I don't, you know, I'm not asking you to give up your power in this situation. I'm just asking you to sort of be the partner you want to receive. So if your partner was feeling a certain way, how would you want them to show up for you? And then be that person. Because I think that there's a certain vulnerability that's being offered to you within your intimate body that will stoke the fires, that will fuel the fires, that will make that potential love sweeter. And even if there is no one in your life right now, just being authentic with yourself about your desires in your intimate body will open up a space. And I think that you'll feel a better sense of hope, faith that things are coming in. All right, let's go on to Capricorn. My Capricorns. All right, our first angel is Ray, second is Isabella, the third is Athena, and the final is Oceana. Okay, Cap, so this is the thing. As I look at this, Ray is asking you to connect with spirit, with your wants and your desires. I don't care how mundane they are. You know, if you just, it doesn't have to be something huge. You want a new pair of Nikes, I don't care. But I really feel like this is an opportunity this week for you to see how, when you connect with spirit, Isabella is saying, yes, the timing is right. Athena is saying it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself. And so is Oceana. Take action. You're in touch with your truth. So if there's some things that you want to bring forward, you want to birth, you want to experience, you want to have happen in your life, first connect with spirit, lovingly assert yourself to them. This is what I want to do. I want to go on vacation to Italy and I'm really excited about it. So let's open a space for it, because there's a weird thinning of the veil that's happening right now between here and there, between our earthly experience and spirit. And I feel like as we start to put our desires up to spirit, rather than trying to always figure out how we are going to do it. Again, Capricorn, you're earth sign. So you're going to think, how can I make that happen? Start with spirit. I want to go to Italy. And then they will start to inspire you. Oh, I'm going to look at that website, or look at that deal, or suddenly you'll see a commercial on TV, and then you lovingly assert yourself. This doesn't feel like a big deal this week. Like, it doesn't feel like these are big decisions, life-changing decisions. These feel much more mundane to me. And in that dynamic of them being mundane, it's a great opportunity without having to invest too much emotionally into practicing, like even parking spaces, silly things like that. You're going to Costco, you tell Spirit, okay, I want a parking space, and then you assert yourself into thinking they're going to deliver that parking space, and the next thing you know, you pull in and someone's pulling out. Okay, let's go on to Aquarius. You know, it's funny, as I check into Aquarius, I also realize that this full moon that's coming up is, it's a really good time to study like astrology and things of the occult, esoteric ideas. There's an energy about this particular full moon that supports that endeavor. And I say that with Aquarius because you're ruled by Uranus, which rules astrology. Okay, so our first angel is Indriel. The second is Grace and Antoinette. The third is Patience. And the final angel is Francesca. Okay, so Aquarius. Indriel is the card of the light worker, but I really think this is about me shining my light. Me shining my light, meaning walking around the planet feeling hopeful and excited and sort of seeing a bigger picture, maybe, than what's happening right now. Grace and Antoinette and the opportunity or the obstacle is a card of compassion, a card of seeing things from another person's perspective. Patience is a card of assimilating a situation, actually looking at the dynamics and synthesizing it energetically. And then Francesca is asking me to visualize what I want and not to visualize the challenges that are there. So this is what I'm seeing for you, Aquarius. The idea of shining your light is really more about being faithful in the dynamics of what you want. It's not about kind of at this moment shining a light out there. It's more about allowing a light to come on the inside of you and being having compassion for yourself as you walk through the process of birthing this. The patience card in the angel's advice is sometimes when we get an idea, we just want to just plow through and make it happen, and it doesn't happen that quickly. And so I think Francesca is asking you, as you go through the journey of turning the inner light on, having a sense of, I want to say, a sense of compassion for yourself as you're going through the journey. I can't remember which one of the signs I was talking to, but there, you know, as we walk through this life's journey, we evolve, and with each stage of life, we have an opportunity to learn from those dynamics. And as a teenager, we learn about love and about, you know, those initial heartbreaks and how we show up and process that. And sometimes as we've gotten older, earlier parts of ourselves are triggered. And we'll go back to those places where we felt insecure or abandoned or whatever. I think what Spirit is asking for you, Aquarius, this week is not to look so much into the material world, is to be patient with yourself and to see as your light comes on, as you allow yourself to open up inside emotionally to the things that you want, and then have compassion for yourself to know that, you know, sometimes we're just doing the best we can do. As we age, it doesn't necessarily mean that we become impervious to certain emotions. You know, just because we've felt them repeatedly doesn't mean that they dumb down. I don't know if any of that makes sense. It's kind of that idea of when someone says, oh, you know, just let it go. Just let it go. I'm not a very good letter goer, but I can assimilate and I can look at it and I can reconcile something because I can look at my growth through the situation. So being so general, I hope I'm making sense, but what I'm trying to say for Aquarius is that if you're experiencing old dynamics, give yourself credit for walking through them with a more mature or a more seasoned way of being. Even if you do get a little triggered, and even if you do find yourself angry or mad or upset or having emotion, it doesn't necessarily mean that's negative. Okay, let's go on to Pisces. All right, what does Spirit have to say for Pisces today? All right, Pisces, our first angel is Archangel Uriel. The second is Francesca. The third is Athena. And the final is Daniel. All right. Archangel Uriel will talk about the energies of frustration, anger, unforgiveness. But I really think for Pisces, this is probably about frustration. And a frustration that we have all been experiencing this summer. Again, we had 6 planets retrograde. We had eclipse season. It was like nutty. And everybody experienced a certain amount of having that rug lifted on old issues that we thought we would have reconciled, and maybe we thought they were gone, and then they rear their ugly heads. So I think that the Archangel Uriel is really referring to any frustrations you've had. Francesca has been popping up all day for each one of the signs, it feels like, about focusing in on what you really want right now, not focusing in on the issues, not focusing in on the frustrations. Athena is asking you to lovingly assert yourself and to I kind of think that what she's saying is that when you lovingly assert yourself, you're not just asserting yourself in the outworld. You're asserting yourself in the interior world, about thinking about things from a different perspective, about giving yourself a break. You know, as humans, I've been saying this it feels like all the signs. This summer lifted the rug on things we thought we'd long buried, you know, and to be annoyed by ourselves that they weren't as buried as we thought they were isn't really going to serve us. It's really more about seeing where we want to move forward to, you know, knowing that the human experience is going to ebb and flow with, you know, pleasant emotions and with challenging emotions in all sorts of different hues. I got the final card is Daniel, the angel of marriage. So there may be that dynamic that many of my Pisces are frustrated. They like to find a partner and they haven't found one. But for me, as a collective, Daniel talks about my emotional, intimate history. What am I bringing into the relationship as I start this? And then when I go back to Archangel Uriel, I want to say this. Overall, if it's a relationship with yourself, a relationship with another person, I think that it's time to acknowledge the evolution of the human journey. And the things that you have been and the things you've experienced, if they were at a lower vibration, if there were things you weren't so pleased with yourself about, it doesn't have to stick to you like Velcro. It's like, allow yourself to forgive yourself, to say, you know, okay, maybe this was, you know, I didn't act so well here, but it doesn't mean that this has to happen now. I've evolved. And even though I may feel frustrated, it doesn't mean that I show up the same way. So in that respect, Athena is giving you an opportunity to feel proud of yourself through a mucky, murky time. I don't know if any of that made sense. So anyway, overall, I want to say this, Pisces. This full moon coming up on Saturday, I believe Saturday the 26th, is an opportunity to allow these harmonious energies to give you the reconciliation of whatever has been challenging for you this summer. If you're angry with others, if you're frustrated with yourself, I think it's time to allow that frustration and that anger to work for you by then choosing to say, hey, you know what? It's okay to be upset every once in a while, because it isn't about being upset. It's about how I show up when I'm upset. And I'm not showing up the way I used to. I'm showing up as a better, improved, more balanced version of myself. Okay, guys, that's it for this week. Again, I want to say we've got a grand trine in earth signs. That's a very harmonious and auspicious energy coming in this week. It will usher in for the next 2 to 3 weeks opportunities to capitalize on that energy. So put a little spit and polish in on what you want. think about the things that you want to bring in to your existence. And I kind of not talking about material outside things. I'm talking about emotional things, about permissions that you give yourself within your emotional and your spiritual body. And then connect with spirit. Archangel Gabriel's going to be very prevalent this week. Talk to her. Some people consider it a male energy. I don't. I can't imagine all four archangels are males. No women in there? A little weird. But anyway, okay, I digress. So, but again, I just want to offer you this. Connect with spirit. Take some time to enjoy this last few days of summer, and spend some time out in nature and allow God and the angels to give you signs and omens that your intentions and the things you want to experience are in the Ethernet, and they are there waiting for your continued belief and movement towards them. All right, guys. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, and if you'd like to learn more about me or my services or to book an appointment, please feel free to go to my website at www.terihunter.com. I'll be back next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.